Yeah, thank you. That was a really great question. For me, the last 24 months, I've really sat back and just think about what are the tension and what are the odd spot that we need to really consider as a data management profession, as a data management practitioner. Because I personally want data management leaders and professionals or practitioners to win, not just win in terms of surviving, but win in terms of striving. And in order to win and in order to strive, you've got to understand what are the habits that can help you to do those things. There's a great quote that says that motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. And I know that with data management, it's not just a one-off; it's a journey. It's not a destination. So I think that for you to be successful, you've got to think about what are the habits that you need to develop within yourself and within your team, and what are the things that you need to do without even thinking about it. So for me, the first thing is, you've got to work as a team. Data management is a team sport. What that simply means is that you don't have one champion within your team. You need to have everyone in your team would should be a champion as well. You need to set up things like clear goals, objectives. You've got to provide the right support. You've got to have the balance of business skills and technical skills within your team as well. And having an habit to do that in terms of the way you design and develop your team is really, really fundamental. For me, the second habit is about change. I tell people that we as data management professional, we're in the business of change management. And it is true. So we are change champions, but sometimes we find ourselves as not leading change, but we find ourselves in terms of behind the change, and that's not good enough. So we have to be leading the change. So having the habit of leading change, understanding it, understanding that you're a change agent, understanding that your team needs to have people as change champions is very, very important. I think the other habit I want to really quickly talk about is the habit around a bit of what I call inclusive culture, because it's quite fundamental. Like I said earlier, you need to have a habit of a team. You need to have an habit that drives change, but then you need to have an environment where it is you're operating within an inclusive culture where the leadership is inclusive, where the team is inclusive, where people can be themselves, be their authentic self as well, where they're safe to make mistakes. There's a psychological safety element in there as well. Where people can operate and you can get the best out of people. And one of the key things for data management professionals we talked about today is that we're looking for women to come into the pipeline as well, where women can be part of leadership as well within not just in data but also in technology. So when you think about that, how do you recruit people? If you have the habit of leading and having an habit of an inclusive culture, what you do is that you start attracting the right people and you start challenging yourself why you're not getting those sort of people through the door in your organization. I think finally, the habit of personal development is very important. There are a couple habits I just don't want to go into, but the habit of personal development is very important. Do you create spaces for your team members to go out to get them to develop themselves? Do you create opportunity for learning to continue? Because learning is never ends at all. So do you create opportunity for people to be coached, to be trained as well? Do you create opportunity for people to have in terms of what I would call mental and psychological well-being in terms of developing themselves as well? Those things are really fundamental because if you have the habit of personal development where you ensure that everyone in your team needs to go out there, sometimes internally, externally, need to go out there to get engaged, know what is going on across the space as well. And just like coming to a conference like this one, I think that's really important. So those are the habits I just want to touch upon. But if you come into my session, there are other habits I would like to share with you as well. And I look forward to having you there. Thank you ever so much.